Well, there's a whole lot going on right now in the news, and none of it really matters to me. UFOs, Epstein's still a thing. Yeah, I'm looking past all that. Hey, what is up? How are you guys doing? Thank you for checking out this video. Support for the channel is awesome. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm watching the news. I don't know. I think I'm a little frustrated because nobody is really focusing on the important stuff. It's just like, yeah, nothing to see here. Throw it behind. Let's talk about battles between name calling and political parties and stuff like that. Really stressing on what's going on internally with the country. Now there's a little bit touching on it and whatnot, but there's just an overall feeling that's different right now. Yes, things are quiet. Yes, there's nothing real big going on with Israel and Gaza or Iran or Russia or China or North Korea. Yeah, it's pretty quiet. But here's kind of the thing. This kind of got me thinking about it. We stopped in Kansas City a couple weekends ago for barbecue. Great place that we've been to a few times. And it's kind of like the favorite barbecue of Barack Obama. They got pictures of him there. They got lots of celebrity pictures from like Billy Joel to actors and actresses. Kind of a famous place. But anyway, standing in line, very crowded. And big guy, definitely urban, definitely a different lifestyle than me. Obviously, it was a very obvious thing. And very nice guy, pretty much came up in the line. He's like, hey, what's up? How you doing? You know, just instantly fired up a conversation. Not normally the conversation that would be fired up in a normal social situation, but he did. And ended up talking with him for about 15 or 20 minutes while we were waiting in line. And yeah, I'll just say he's probably very far left, very pro-Democrat, pro-Obama. He was talking a lot about, you know, how he loved Obama and how he went in and whooped Saddam's ass and, you know, all these different things. And, you know, I'm agreeing with him for the most part. You know, we did do that. Yeah, there's a lot of bad things that went along with it. But here's the point. Talking with him, he knows things ain't right. Even far on the left, urban, city. I don't know if it's kind of ghetto there, but yeah, it's on the other side of the tracks. He realizes things ain't right. We were talking, and it's funny because I really like people that'll do this. Break down those barriers right away. We were standing in a crowd of people. He was a black guy, just to say. Very urban. Different dialect of language. We have our differences. And we were sitting in line. We were talking politics. We were talking racial issues. We were talking all kinds of stuff. And people were kind of looking at us. And it's like, what he was saying is, why can't we just do this? Why can't we just have a conversation and be civil about things? Why does everything have to be a fight and an argument and racism and all this? Why can't we just shoot the shit and be good with other humans, you know? And he's 100% right. And I was agreeing with him. I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, you know, talking about the separation in society and stuff like that. But it was a good conversation. But what I got out of it is he knows shit ain't right. He's not going to be thinking about things the same way that people on the right are thinking about SHTF or preppers or anything like that. He's urban. Things are going to be good. The government's here. The government's going to be taking care of us. But it doesn't feel good right now. It's not feeling right. We have all this separation. We have this tension and stuff like that. And that's kind of what we were talking about. And I even see it in the news, watching liberal news and right-wing news and all this other stuff. Pretty much everybody's talking about it, at least touching on it. The main focus, like, I guess it's UFOs now. I don't know. It's ridiculous on what's going on with the news. And what they're telling us is important. That's the headlines in the news. It's what's important. Just happens to be whatever that network wants to tell you is important becomes important. So they run these headline news on Epstein and all this other crap that doesn't make a difference. I don't care. I don't care who thinks about what about UFOs. I don't care what Donald Trump thinks about UFOs. I don't care what he is not going to tell us about UFOs. We have this whole situation going on. We have a social breakdown going on right now. We have these assassinations that are getting more and more relevant and popular and becoming a trend. And we got the assassinations on our president. We got these fights. We got racial brawls breaking out. We got racial protests breaking out against the Jewish state and Israel and stuff like that. Everything is cracking. Everything is cracking. I'm seeing it in the stock market. Things are starting to show the cracks. The economy, things are starting to show the cracks. Inflation is sideways at best. I believe it's actually starting to show signs of ticking up. Come September, October, November, tariffs are going to really set in. Prices are going to go up even more. Things are going to be getting harder. There's a guy I follow, and you might know who it is by this comment, but when he goes to the bank, he uses cash. So when he goes to the bank, he usually hits an ATM, pulls out the cash he's going to need for whatever amount of time, goes about his way. A lot of people leave receipts, and he picks up everybody's receipt and looks at their balance, just to give a little bit of a gauge on what's going on. And there's a lot of zeros, $13, $100, withdrawals for $100, rejected, stuff like that. People are hurting. Debt is going up. Debt on houses, foreclosures, repos on vehicles. The financial squeeze is here. And I was talking about this years ago. How this is going to happen on the financial part of it, legal part of it, all this stuff. It's a slow squeeze. China's been in doing this for a long time. China, Russia, everybody's involved with it right now, but it's a squeeze. But what's that breaking point? That breaking point is going to be a civil war. That breaking point is going to be unleashing hell on Eastern Europe and the South Pacific, or whatever we do. But we keep kind of hitting that breaking point, and for some reason it goes further. Just like in the stock market. The S&P was at 5150 on the futures. Numbers don't really matter. You'll get what I'm saying. That was a big inflection point to where it was supposed to struggle, and with all the economic data and a lot of other things going on, it was supposed to go down. I shorted the market on that one and I lost. I think I lost like $50 or something like that. But the market went back up. And I'm like, okay, here's another point. I can't get worse than this as far as the market going up, because I was betting on it going down. And it kept going up, and it kept going up, and it kept going up. And now we're at what, 6,500, 6,400 or something like that right now. So just when you think it can't get any further, it's going to continue to go further. And this is China's plan. Kind of making everything fairly normal. Get used to it. Squeeze a little more. Get used to that. Squeeze a little more. And then eventually, you got a pretty tight grip on a country. This is the thing that's going on. Is like nobody's talking about these things. Nobody's talking about all our adversaries out there. Trump is kind of starting to fly off the handle. We got these deadlines that are coming in. Right now, it's August 5th. I think August 8th or the 10th or something like that is an end of the world date. Once again. We have a lot of these. It's never the end of the world. But what's going to happen? I don't know. We're playing with fire. We're calling Russia's bluffs. Russia's calling our bluffs. Kind of a Cold War, really, when you think about it. Yet, this time, we got a hot war going on as well. So, not too good. Not too good. Lots of things flaring up. And the real business that's going on, we're not hearing about. The real things that make a difference, the words that are being said from nation to nation, We're not hearing about that. We're not going to hear about that, and that's what matters. So all this fluff and all this other crap that's going on in the news, around media, even on YouTube, and social influencers are kind of jumping on board with this. Oh my God, it's another earthquake. Yes, okay, the earthquakes and volcanoes and stuff, it's a real deal. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Is that something to prep for? Sure. You know, is that something to be worried about? Sure, if you live in an area that could be affected by it. I'm not far from a fault line, the New Madrid fault. Yeah, my place can rattle, and I'm kind of ready for it. If I start feeling that feel of an earthquake, it's been a long time since I've been in an earthquake, but I have been in them. I'm going to know what to do. We already know what room to get into for safety, and action will go into place. But that's not the important things that are going on. Yes, this is all happening. Yes, the glaciers are melting. We don't need to be thinking about that when we got World War III right there. So yeah, don't be distracted by the shiny stories. Don't be distracted by a lot of these things that Trump is getting out there to stir things up. Don't be distracted by things that the media are putting out there. Don't be distracted by the things that piss you off, because that is how they do it. They get your emotions, then they got you, and you're going to pay attention to that story that's going on. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, the real stuff is going on. So I don't really have any tips or anything on tonight's video, but be ready every single day. If a day goes by and you still need to get some stuff done, and SHTF didn't happen that day, use that day to your advantage. You have another day to get stuff done. Because, I mean, I honestly feel any morning, at any point, I'm going to wake up to an SHTF situation. And I've felt this way for about a year and a half, 2 years. A lot of it coming from Russia and Ukraine. Because I know we're involved with it and we're fighting Russia, and I did a video years ago that we're actually in a war with Russia, and yeah, here we are. It's pretty blatantly obvious that we're fighting Russia, but nobody was saying it back then because we were just sending a couple bullets and helmets over to Ukraine, but we called it out. There's a lot going on behind doors right now, and this is some of the most important times that we have to be able to get ready, get our preps in line, get everything that we need. Things are going to get expensive any day. The food line, the soup line is going to get closed. Any day the supply chain is going to stop. It could be intermittent. It could just start slowing down over a few months or even 6 months until it comes to a stop. Any day something can happen. Any day a nuke can go off. Any day the United States can be attacked. Any day. So every day I wake up, I'm thankful for waking up another day, and SHTF didn't happen. But we are at that point right now to where it can happen any given morning and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's telling us to prepare. Nobody's telling us you might want to put a little bit of food back so you don't have to use a weapon to be able to get some bread. But that's the way we should be thinking. As preppers, we need to have everything covered. There are things that I need to refresh up on. There are some supplies that I need to restock, but other than that, we're pretty good here. So yeah, at this point, I am just waiting, almost cringing every time I wake up to turn on the news. Is this the day? This is the way it's going to be. And I'm not living miserable. We're still going out. We're still having fun. We're still doing things in public. We're not hiding. But yeah, any given day, something can happen. So be ready. Right now, they're really trying to divert attention away from Russia, China, and all this stuff. And everybody's falling for it. The right and the left, because I see it all over YouTube. So don't be that guy. Pay attention to what's going on in the background. Pay attention to the geopolitics. Right now, it's about all that matters. The economy, it's going to be attached to it, but it's probably going anyway. We're still hanging at the highs. We're still in a little bit of AI euphoria when it comes to the stock market and corporations and stuff like that. So everything's still afloat, but any day, it's always that one morning, Black Monday. You just wake up and holy shit, I lost half of my retirement, just like that. Yeah, and it's going to happen. So anyway, just kind of wanted to touch on this. Pay attention to all the stuff that's going on in the background. Don't be drawn in like a moth to the flame to these little shiny stories that everybody's putting out right now. Real shit's still going on. Real threats are still going on. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Until one day when something cracks. So keep prepping. I don't need to tell you guys that. Till next time, I'll talk to you then. Peace.
In my dancing sun, with every spin, my heart skips a beat. Ah.